Welcome to Horoscope and Astrology Daily on YouTube. If you would like to support this channel, then please hit the like button and subscribe. Toxic positivity. Why it's hard to be happy. In a world that often seems to be crumbling around us, the pressure to maintain a positive outlook can feel almost suffocating. Instagram feeds filled with smiling influencers, self-help gurus preaching the power of positive thinking, and well-meaning loved ones imploring us to just be happy. The relentless pursuit of happiness has become a cultural obsession. But what happens when this endless drive for positivity crosses the line into something more sinister? Enter the insidious phenomenon of toxic positivity. Toxic positivity refers to the belief that people should maintain a positive mindset at all times, regardless of the situation. It's the notion that negative emotions like sadness, anger, or grief are somehow unacceptable, and that we must always look on the bright side, stuff down our feelings, and put on a brave face. This toxic mindset not only invalidates genuine human experiences, but can also have serious consequences for our mental health. Toxic positivity is the assumption, the belief, and the attitude that no matter how difficult, horrible, or traumatic a situation is, people should maintain a positive mindset, explains Dr. Jaime Zuckerman, a clinical psychologist and author. It's the pressure to always be happy, to always look on the bright side, and the feeling that negative emotions are not okay. The roots of this phenomenon can be traced back to the self-help movement of the 1970s and 80s, which popularized the idea that positive thinking could solve any problem. But as this mentality has seeped into mainstream culture, it has become increasingly pervasive and problematic. There's this cultural pressure to always be happy, to always be positive, and to not express any negative emotions, says Dr. Zuckerman. And I think it's really damaging because it invalidates people's real feelings and experiences. Indeed, the relentless pursuit of happiness can actually have the opposite effect, leaving people feeling ashamed, isolated, and unable to process their genuine emotions. When we're constantly told to just be positive or look on the bright side, it can make us feel like there's something wrong with us for having a bad day, struggling with anxiety, or grieving a loss. Toxic positivity is really about denial, explains Dr. Zuckerman. It's about refusing to acknowledge the reality of the situation and the depth of human emotion. This can be especially harmful for individuals dealing with mental health issues or trauma. When someone is experiencing depression, anxiety, or the aftermath of a difficult life event, the last thing they need is to be bombarded with messages telling them to just be happy or focus on the good. These platitudes can further invalidate their experiences and make them feel even more isolated and misunderstood. Toxic positivity can be really damaging for people who are struggling with their mental health, says Dr. Zuckerman. It can make them feel like they're failing, or that there's something wrong with them for not being able to just be positive. But the problem with toxic positivity goes beyond just mental health. It can also have far-reaching implications for our relationships and overall well-being. When we're constantly told to be positive, it can really interfere with our ability to connect with others, explains Dr. Zuckerman. If we're always trying to put on a happy face and ignore our negative emotions, it becomes really difficult to be vulnerable and authentic in our relationships. This can lead to a sense of isolation and a lack of true intimacy as we struggle to share our genuine feelings and experiences with loved ones. And when we're unable to process and express our emotions in a healthy way, it can also have physical consequences, such as increased stress, fatigue, and even physical illness. Toxic positivity can really take a toll on our mental, emotional, and physical health. It's important to acknowledge and validate our negative emotions rather than trying to suppress or avoid them. So what can we do to combat the toxic positivity trap? The key, according to experts, is to embrace a more balanced and nuanced approach to emotions. It's not about abandoning positivity altogether. It's about creating space for a full range of emotions, the good, the bad, and the ugly. This might mean actively working to challenge the negative self-talk and unhelpful beliefs that contribute to toxic positivity, such as the notion that we always need to be happy or that negative emotions are a sign of weakness. It's about learning to sit with our uncomfortable feelings, to validate them, and to find healthy ways to process them, says Dr. Zuckerman. It's about recognizing that all of our emotions, even the difficult ones, serve a purpose and are a normal part of the human experience. This might look like journaling, practicing mindfulness, or seeking support from a therapist or trusted loved one. It might also mean setting boundaries with friends or family members who try to push us toward a constant state of positivity. Ultimately, the key is to cultivate a more compassionate and accepting relationship with our emotions, one that allows us to feel the full depth of the human experience without judgment or shame. It's about finding balance and acknowledging the full spectrum of human emotions, says Dr. Zuckerman. It's about embracing the fact that we're not always going to be happy, and that's okay. Because the truth is, true happiness doesn't come from denying our negative emotions or constantly chasing after an elusive state of positivity. It comes from the willingness to embrace the full range of our experiences, to sit with our discomfort, and to find ways to move through it with courage and resilience. When we're able to do that, we don't just become happier, we become more fully human. Thank you for watching this video.